So last time we did, let's see, insert, format, graph, quadrant. Last time we did something that was kind of like this. Maybe you had something like that. And let's say we had another line like this. And let's say there was another line like this. And this was all done on Desmos, which you found this would have been the ideal shaded region. Agree? So basically, you have a point 0, 0 right here. Let's say that point comes out to, like on Desmos, you hover over that point and you get that point. So that's going to be, say, 5.5, comma 0. Let's say this point right here comes out to 8, comma 2. Let's say that point comes out to 6.5, comma 4. And then this point right here is 0, comma 9. You feel comfortable finding all those intersection points on Desmos, agree? Anyone like, this Desmos, what do you speak of? Okay, so there's two different equations that come with this kind of math. And now we're not going to set up the word problem inequalities that go with it, but usually you set these up and there's certain parameters, but we have these corners. So they'll give you another equation. Let's say they give you a profit equation, which is 2x minus y. Okay? So what we want to do, you work in a company. You want the maximum amount of profit. Agree? Yeah, good. I'm glad you know. So what you're going to do is you're going to take all your points, so 0, 0, and 5.5, comma 0, and 8.8, comma 2, and 6.5, comma 4, and 0, comma 9. So if we're going to do this, these are all xy values. So if I plug these into this equation, okay, a profit of 0, that's not good for a company, is it? Okay. Then I'm going to take 5.5, plug it in, so I get profit equals 2 times 5.5 minus 0. 2 times 5.5 is 11. 11 minus 0. Hey, I make $11 profit. Well, that's better than nothing, right? It's not the best, but it might be. I don't know. Then I have this one, profit equals 2 times 8 minus 2. So that's 16 minus 2. So that gives me 14. Well, 14 is a little bit better than 11, which is better than 0. And then we have the 6.5. So profit equals 2 times 6.5 minus 4. That's 13 minus 4. That gives me 9. Oh, we're going the wrong way again. And then this last one, profit equals 2 times 0 minus 9. Oh, now I've made negative profit. It means I'm losing money. So let's just make it in reality. Hopefully we make more than $14 profit in a day at a business. Right? So let's just say this is in hundreds of thousands. Okay? So here, you make nothing. Here, you make $1.1 million profit. That's a pretty good day. Here, you make $1.4 million profit. That's a better day. Here, you make $900,000 profit. And here, what is a negative profit? Yeah, if you're on this team and you get back to the meeting, they're like, hey, how did everything go? We lost $900,000 today. You, and you, fired. Oh. Right? So, this kind of stuff, it's kind of funny, but I want to talk about, I remember in Arizona, when I first moved to Arizona, had 2 freeways that went through Phoenix. You had I-17 which basically went from Phoenix to Flagstaff. Really didn't do much. Yes, you could take little side roads and keep going south, or you keep going north, but I-17 was from Phoenix to Flagstaff, about 90 miles north. Okay? Then you had Interstate 10, I-10, that went all the way across the United States, except when you got to Phoenix. There was a gap of 4 miles that Interstate 10 didn't connect. You had to take like side roads. So you're like cruising along, and this is back in the 70s when the speed limit was through the roof. 55 miles an hour was the max. Do you think your trips on family vacations in the car are bad now when you're doing 75 miles an hour? Dude, when it was 55, because like now it's 75, so if your parents are like me, we push it to about 90, 91, right? Back in the day, you thought you were pushing the envelope when you hit the 65 miles an hour, even though it's posted as 55. Oh, thank you for asking. That actually is a very good question. The Nixon administration, they felt that the lower speed limit would allow for vehicles to get a better gas mileage per gallon. Now, it actually did, because the resistance of air on a car is an inverse ratio to speed. The faster you go, the worse your miles per gallon will be. It's 1 over R squared. So 1 over the resistance of airflow squared is how it takes away from your car's efficiency. Now, I will tell you that if I took my real fancy Mazda minivan, you still with me? That has more rust on it than has anything else. It's the same vehicle that if you walk by and you scratched it with your bag as you walk by it, you actually improved the look of my car. Okay? But if I set that, let's say I want to go visit my daughter in Lincoln, Nebraska, and I decide I'm going to take, was it 76 that goes diagonally out of the state, and then I get on I-80 in Nebraska. I kept that cruise control at 55 miles an hour. I could get really good gas mileage. Now, I'd probably get run off by the road. A whole bunch of people would be telling me I'm number one, and they wouldn't be using this finger to show me that I'm number one. I'd probably get someone throw a brick through my windshield, but I'd be getting great gas mileage. In fact, my car, just driving back and forth to school, because that's really all I drive. I drive from my home to school each morning. After school, I drive from home to where I work out at Prestige Fitness over on Arapahoe and Holly, and then I go home, so it's in the same direction. I can get about 310 miles on a tank of gas before I need to go fill up again. Okay? So I don't get, it gets like 23 miles per gallon. That doesn't do the best. But if I were on a road trip and I honestly kept the cruise control at 55 miles an hour and it was calm, no wind, just normal wind resistance, that 310-mile tank could get up to about 450 miles per tank. Now, if I did the same drive and I decided to drive 90 miles per hour, I'm going to get about 230 miles on a tank. So it's going to use a lot more gas. So the Nixon administration basically said, if we lower the speed limit, we're going to save all this gas. And here's the sad thing. We've all heard the term global warming. Agree? Now, I'm not trying to say it's not there. I'm not saying that. But do you know in the 1970s, they said the greenhouse gases emitted by gasoline cars created global cooling. I kid you not. And in fact, I remember when I was in 4th grade, they gave us Salt River Project, who's the energy company in Arizona, had a little thing for us all to do as elementary school kids, and it was to try and show if our homes were efficient or not. And what they wanted us to do each day as a fourth grader is we had to go outside and we had to read what our meter was on the side of our house, the amount of electricity we were using. And they wanted us to daily do this log. And then we talked about it in class, and our teacher's like, yeah, because we're using too much electricity, the earth is cooling down. Okay, I kid you not. These, my friends, these are the same exact scientists that are now saying, oh, global warming. Okay, I kid you not. So I have this, not that I was a great educated child in fourth grade. As a 50-year-old adult, I'm still a village idiot. So I'm not that bright. But now we have the sky is falling because everything's heating up. Now I get it. People are going to say, no, it is. Okay. Okay. But I remember in the 70s, yeah, it's cooling down. Oh. Cows are farting. We need to get less cows. The methane gas making us cool down. So all the things that are making us warm up now, in 2021, we're making us cool down in 1977. I'm a little conflicted. Now, I didn't pay attention to a lot of things in school. I was kind of scared of this whole global cooling, but I also lived in Phoenix. So I was kind of like, we welcome this. You mean it won't be 119 degrees this summer? Yeah, it'll probably cool off a little bit. Thank goodness. What about the people in Minnesota? I don't care. I don't live there. But now global warming. So I'm not saying things aren't happening. I'm not saying that. So don't go run to your environmental science teacher saying, Stirrup says global warming is not happening. That's not what I'm saying. Well, I actually had the explanation with Mr. Boyce many years ago. And he's like, are you serious? I said, yeah. I said, if you would like, I could probably go down to my parents' house because my mom held on to like everything we ever did in school. Has like boxes. Hey, here's all your stuff you did in school. I don't want that. Are you sure? Yes. I didn't want the trace of my hand to make a turkey that I brought home and hung on the refrigerator. I don't need that, Ma. Oh, but it's all your work. Did you want your report cards from elementary school? No. Are you sure? Yeah. Oh, I don't know if we should get rid of this. I'll tell you what, we'll hold on to it. Maybe you'll change your mind. No, I won't. So, no, I agree. There is definitely something that is taking place. I'm not saying I'm far to the right. I'm not saying I'm far to the left. And I'm not saying I'm an environmentally, like, hey, the sky is falling. I'm saying this poor guy, because of Salt River Project's project that came out in the 70s, that said the world is cooling for the exact same reasons that our scientists now today are saying it's warming. I think this is the only thing I ever paid attention to in school. And I don't know how to remember so well. Like it must have been well put. Maybe it had some fun pictures. I'll tell you what it probably had. Hey, color this picture. Oh, okay. Chris, it says when you add those two numbers together and it gets 3, you color it green. You're coloring it purple. You mean I have to read the directions? Can I have another one? So, yes, something is going on with the planet. Should we be environmentally conscious and friendly? I think we should. I will tell you, I will not stop my car on the freeway if I see a tin can sitting on the side of the road. I don't go and get it. No, but I mean, there are groups out there like, hey, stop there! So what takes me back is there was, with I-10 in Arizona, that had a gap in it. So this interstate freeway system that went from the East Coast to the West Coast. Arizona didn't get the memo that it was supposed to connect, because you're supposed to be able to stay on Interstate 10 all the way across the United States. Same thing with I-80. I-80 from San Francisco all the way to New York. Okay? So they decided in Arizona, we have a great idea. Folks, we're going to connect this freeway. But we're not going to do it just normally. We're going to do it in style. So they decided they wanted this nice flyover bridge system that they created. Okay? Now what they had to do is they had to make these pillars, because underneath this flyover freeway system, there was parks and a golf course, because we can't get rid of those. In Arizona, we better water as much as we can, because, it's only 119 degrees out. Like, why don't you keep it desert? Oh, no, it's better to have grass. Why? The desert was here before the grass. No. Grass is better. Now everything in Arizona turned to gravel yards. I go to my parents' house. We used to have a nice grass front yard. Now it's gravel. It looks better this way. Okay, so you say. Okay, good. But what they decided to do is, one engineering firm was in charge of making this bridge system come from the west, going towards the east, and another engineering firm came in and was going to create their bridge system that was going to go from the east to the west, and eventually they were going to meet in the middle. Well, if this was one road, I know the road goes this way, but let's say this is one road on the bridge, and here was the other, and they're like, oops. Because one of the companies was measuring everything in meters, and the other company was measuring everything in yards. And they made like a $25 million mistake. This is like 82. You think if you're working for a company, you go and sit down during your board meeting and you made a $25 million mistake, do you think you're going to be working for that company much longer? If you own the company, yeah, but now you're taking a loss. Okay? So what they basically did is, each of these lines could have been the construction cost. One of these lines could have been the cost of the materials. One of these lines could have been the cost of the labor. And so what they had to do is they had to decipher what's going to be best in this case. Well, I can assure you that the people that made this choice was the happiest, because they made money. And a lot of times a consulting firm will come in and say, we give that heads up. That consulting firm charges anywhere from 5 to 10% money. So if you made 10% on $1.4 million, your company is getting $140,000 for it. Not bad. And I'm not talking about like years and years and years went into this thing. I'm talking a matter of weeks. So what you want to do is, first off, you have to realize, I am looking at a profit. Profit, I want the max. If I had the same thing here, and it was a cost equation, so this is profit, this is cost. If I can keep my costs low and my profits high, that means I make more money. Yes? Keep my costs low and my profits high, make more money. I probably did. And I have this recorded. We'll go back and we'll go, can't trust this teacher. He's just always wrong. Okay, so this is my cost equation. So costs, you always want to find the minimum value for. Profits, you always want to find the maximum value for. Make sense? Okay, so you're going to use Desmos. going to print this up. Let me see. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of yous. So let me print this up for you. And I'll go get it. Does everyone know what to do? It's pretty easy. It's like you find the corners, then you plug the corners into either the profit or the cost equation that's given. A lot of times, it'll say maximize or minimize. Maximize means you're finding the maximum. Minimize means you're finding the minimum. Yeah. It's like, Storb's genius, man. You know there's no applause ever in here. You just throw money. No applause, throw money.
I have a sack of quarters. Is that okay?
All right. So I'm going to stop recording now because I think we've discussed enough. We do have on video that I did not put the disclaimer that global warming isn't happening. It's on video.